Hey there, and thanks for joining me in assertiveness training for the non-assertive. Now, Ralph Waldo Emerson said that what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. And Shakati Gawan taught us that you create opportunities by asking for them. So, in this training, I'm going to show you how you can become more assertive and more in control of your life. We're going to concentrate on assertiveness training that's going to help you in your career and other types of social encounters as well. Now, non assertive people encounter many difficulties when it comes to their businesses or their careers. And people grapple with the right words on the right situation and wouldn't have any idea on how to fast track their climb in the corporate or business ladder. So, the first part of this assertiveness training is geared towards showing you how to get control of yourself, how to be less shy, and how to become more expressive towards others. And then the second part of the training is going to show you how to influence others and how to have a better understanding of others people's behavior towards you, particularly those that mistreat or take advantage of you. Now, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, assertiveness enables individuals to act in a bold and self-confident manner. Now, whether it's on the job or at home, you're dealing with people. And these people can include customers, coworkers, supervisors, your boss, doctors, dentists, nurses, repairmen, principals, bankers, you name it. And you encounter these individuals on a regular basis. Now, lack of assertiveness can cause a number of problems that you might have already discovered. Now, maybe you're tired of always saying yes to everybody and feeling resentful later, or maybe you're tired of everyone taking advantage of your good nature. Maybe you're just plain tired because nobody's listening to your opinions and thoughts as if you weren't even there. Now, if you've identified with any of those situations, there is a solution, and the steps are pretty easy to follow, but you're going to need to practice it every day. Repetition is necessary for you and those that deal with you on a regular basis. Once you've mastered the basics of assertiveness, you're going to notice a difference right away. People are going to start to listen to you more closely, and once you've grabbed their attention assertively, you're really going to start to gain their respect, the respect that you know that you deserve. So, best of all, you're going to feel better about yourself and you're going to feel less shy and more confident about yourself as well as your abilities. You're not going to fear confrontations, and you're also going to learn how to say no with a little bit more ease and a whole lot less guilt. You're going to learn to stay calm even when people are arguing with you, and you are going to realize that you don't need to be rushed into making decisions. You're going to avoid just agreeing to things you don't really want to do. And with more confidence in your own assertiveness, your stress levels are going to drop dramatically. So, first of all, we're going to work on your self confidence. And self confidence is built by undergoing a series of experiences that affirm your self worth. So, every time you try something new, you gain a new experience and a new perspective in life. It doesn't matter if what you've experienced resulted in failure, you're still going to come out as a winner as long as you learn something from it. So also keep in mind that failure or mistakes, they're temporary. So for the experience to become useful, you have to learn from it. Now, everything that you're going to learn from this training should be practiced every day and possibly with a supportive friend until you feel comfortable with the responses. But only then will you be ready to jump out into the real world and experience the assertive you. So, next, we're going to work on your negative self talk. And it's important that you refrain from putting yourself down. You're going to meet enough people willing to do that for you. Trust me. Instead, start focusing on what you can do and not what you think you can't do. Now, as your new assertiveness emerges, remember to keep your emotions in check. Being emotional is not going to help you stay in control. You got to remain calm at all times, especially if you want to be taken seriously in your encounters. So, how do you do this? Well, realize that you have absolute control over your reaction. You can change and you can relearn your reaction over your emotions. So, let's try an exercise, and this can help you relax before a stressful meeting. So imagine yourself in a happy and comfortable place. Others imagine themselves in a Zen like garden or a room that evokes soothing atmospheres, an open field, or a nature scene. Just picture whatever speaks to you. Now breathe deeply as you see yourself part of the whole atmosphere. Exhale as you bask in the beauty of your surroundings. Breathe in through the nose and exhale slowly through the mouth. Now, do this breathing exercise 3 times. You can also include meditation if you have sufficient time to enjoy a lasting effect. Go ahead and pause this if you need to and practice picturing yourself in that environment and these breathing techniques. Now, if you've been staying at home for too long or have limited contact with a variety of people, dealing with the outside world can sometimes be daunting. Career professionals may make you feel inferior, ignorant, or less than adequate, but you can overcome these feelings with a little preparation. And preparation is the key. The more prepared you are, the more in control you're going to feel and the more confident that you're going to be. Preparation means being aware of the particular situation that needs attention and knowing the person that you need to talk to while having an understanding of the message that you want to communicate. So, writing it down is going to help you ensure that you cover every aspect and you don't miss a thing. If you have it on paper in front of you, it's going to help keep you focused on the issue and minimize any confusion or flustered feelings. Writing it down is also going to help if you anticipate any responses or objections and you plan how to address those concerns ahead of time. So, part of the preparation is your overall projection. As trivial as it may seem at first, you have to plan what you're going to wear. Make sure it's appropriate for the occasion. They say that clothes don't make a person, but knowing that you are dressed nicely and you look good is going to give you more confidence. Now, keep in mind that you don't need to justify every opinion or statement that you make. Never apologize for being yourself. Some people can easily sense that you're trying to mask the real you, and that's a major turnoff for the majority of people. Okay, so the script is ready and you're dressed to the nines, and it's now time for a little dress rehearsal. Stand in front of a mirror so that you can see yourself clearly from head to toe. And while you're in front of the mirror, practice your body language. Stand straight. If this encounter is going to be in an office and you're going to be seated, pull a chair up to the mirror and practice how gracefully that you can sit down. Look straight ahead and smile. Practice maintaining eye contact and look alert and interested. Don't frown because you don't want to appear angry. You want to appear determined, not daunting. Now, when you're doing this exercise, watch your posture and remember to use easy gestures with your hands. Keep your voice intonation even. It's okay to sound determined, just not, don't overdo it. You should be passionate about the subject, but not emotional. So, no matter how passionate you feel about the subject, keep your emotions on check all throughout the conversation. Negative emotions such as anger is only going to muddle the message that you're trying to communicate, and the other party is going to end up confused and they're just really going to end up focusing on your anger. So make sure that you have the right timing for setting up a meeting. Everybody should be relaxed and hopefully nobody's in a bad mood. And now practice what you're going to say in this encounter. Remember to use assertive language, that is, use clear and powerful words. Assertiveness counselors call them I statements. Examples of these kind of statements are I think, I feel, I want, the way I see it, in my opinion, what I need. Now, in general, you're going to observe and discover that individuals generally behave in one of three ways. First way is non assertive, and a distinct trait of these people is that they automatically withdraw from an encounter. They deny their feelings only to wind up allowing others to make all the decisions for them, and then they feel guilty or resentful when that happens. They themselves are trapped into doing things that they don't want to do, going places they don't want to go, or saying things or encountering experiences that they would rather not. So later on, they get angry with themselves and they're the ones who led them in the trap. They're really good at putting themselves down, and even their language is not assertive. Things like, it doesn't matter, or, oh, that's okay, or I don't have a very good plan, anyways. I'm sure yours is better. Now, the second type of people are the aggressive ones. And these people have the tendency to overreact to just about everything. And they're highly emotional. They tend to be domineering and maybe even controlling. And if you allow them to, they will make the decisions for you. They can get hostile and defensive and maybe even put others down and make them hurt or feel humiliated. They might even resort to name calling, blaming, insults, and sarcasm. Some of the language of an aggressive type of individual can be things like, we'll do it my way, or I don't need to hear any more from you, or you don't even know what you're talking about. So, now the third type of person, and this is our goal here today, are the assertive individuals. And these people, they're open and they're direct. They're usually good communicators, good negotiators. And honestly, it's no wonder that compromise comes easily to them. They're able to view both sides of any situation, but they won't be made into doormats either. They know what they want and they're not shy about letting you know. They're all about getting what they need and protecting their rights, but without stomping all over the other person's feelings and rights. So, as you can see, assertive behavior and responses allow you to get your point across to the person. They allow you to get what you need and negotiate a good deal for yourself. You don't need to suffer through a hurtful relationship or attack someone's self esteem or make someone defensive in any way. You can persuade even difficult people more easily by just remaining calm, laying out your points and reasons, and acknowledging their side as well. Now, as you stand in front of that mirror, practice what you want to say and anticipate probable responses. Practice is going to make you feel more comfortable and confident when you approach the person in the real meeting. And when you feel you're prepared, walk out of that comfort zone. Be confident in meeting that important person and implement everything that you've learned. Make sure that you look good, stand up straight, shake their hand, and smile. Take a deep breath and start making your points. Make sure that you speak slowly and clearly, but don't mumble and dash through your script. Your notes are just there to keep you focused and to help you remember your important points. Don't just read it. Let it be your guide to what you want to say. Now, make sure that you're listening too. Graciously allow the other person to respond now and then. They may want to discuss certain points and negotiate with you about your needs. And hopefully, you're going to reach an agreement at the end of the meeting. And if that's not the case, allow them time to think about it. They may need to consider all that you've said before making a final decision. And it's okay to give them time to think. Pushing somebody into making a snap decision could end up working against you. Now, if all goes well as you hoped and you feel a sense of elation and excitement, if you've achieved your goal, you definitely need to celebrate. You stepped outside of your comfort zone, you did something you've never done before. So pat yourself on the back for a job well done. Your confidence level just jumped several points and you probably feel like you could take on the world. When another time comes, allowing you to jump out of the comfort zone and display your newly acquired skills of assertiveness, remember this day and remind yourself, I did it before, so I can do it again. The first time is always the most difficult, and each succeeding time is going to get easier and easier and easier. Now, let's talk a little bit about assertiveness in times of conflict. Another example of using assertiveness effectively is in an area of conflict or problem solving. This often happens in the office since you're dealing with so many diverse personalities. There's bound to be some conflict at a time or another, and this training is going to help you recognize the problem and resolve it peacefully and fairly. Now, there's certain steps that you have to follow to successfully resolve a conflict with another coworker. If you've got a problem with the coworker, you should take it first to them in hope of having a quick resolution. The problem could end up just being as simple as a misunderstanding, and a private chat can clear things up pretty quickly. Now, whatever you do, speak to that person privately and never criticize them in public. Always praise in public and condemn in private. Humiliation is not going to help your cause. Speaking in private allows the other person to save face, especially if it's just a simple misunderstanding. The rest of the office doesn't need to know anything about it, and you can lay it to rest quickly with finality. Make sure that you try to speak to the person as soon as you encounter the problem. Problems that are left on their own and unresolved, they just grow bigger and bigger in the imagination. So go for the resolution that you're looking for as soon as you can. And make sure when you're talking to this individual that you keep calm as you speak to them to avoid them getting defensive. At the same time, don't apologize for the issue that you want to talk about either. Be sure to make sure that you are sticking to one issue that's bothering you. Don't begin by complaining that they always do something that's irritating or they never do something you think they should do. Focus on the one complaint and don't deviate from that issue. But before you decide to speak to the person about that complaint, ask yourself, is it something that can be changed? The saying goes, change the unchangeable, accept the unchangeable, and avoid the unacceptable. Pick your battles. If it's a lost cause, just move on. It's not worth beating your head up against a brick wall. Now, start the conversation off by complimenting the person for something he accomplished in the past. Keep in mind that nobody likes criticism, so they're more than likely going to step forward and solve the problem if you show that you appreciate their hard work in other areas. Now, if it appears that you have a hand in the conflict, own up to it and become part of the resolution as well. This is going to do a lot towards cementing relations, and especially in a bigger office. Now, always take the high road, do the right thing. Compromise doesn't mean you're not being assertive, it just means you know how to play fair. Now, when we're dealing with negative people, it can often be more difficult for you to be as assertive as you're learning to be. But assertiveness will also help you with the people who can constantly put you down. So instead of dealing with a problem and coming up with a resolution, they opt into insult and just try to hurt your feelings. And Jules Pfeiffer calls these situations as little murders, as they're intended to insult, humiliate, or embarrass others. People attack your self confidence and your self esteem. And in the process, they murder what you have worked on so hard. Most of us just put up with the humiliating put downs, but that only encourages them. And we learned earlier that we teach people how to treat us. So we need to teach them that these little murders are painful, humiliating, and need to be stopped. Now, insults are like bad coins. We can't help their being offered to us, but we don't need to take them, says C.H. Spurgeon. So sometimes the only way to avoid these put downs is to avoid those delivering them. Remove yourself from their presence, assert yourself, and tell them it's unacceptable behavior and leave. The barbs only work if you react and show them how upset you are. Now, speak your mind and leave. It leaves them with nothing. You've taken the wind from their sails, and eventually they're going to learn that you can't be drawn into their little insults any longer, and they're going to lose interest in you. So, you've learned to grow more assertive, not aggressive. Adjust your behavior to get what you really, really want. Protect yourself and your rights and say no and not feel guilty afterwards. So you can cure this disease to please. You've also learned to be respected for your actions and decisions, how to bring up assertive children and teach them to be strong, as well as how to teach other people how to treat you. And if you're missing some of the points that I'm saying, be sure to check out the other trainings that cover these topics. So at this point, what is left for you is to practice, practice, practice. Build up your self confidence and self esteem. Use your mistakes to your advantage. They're going to teach you wisdom. Good judgment comes from experience, and often experience comes from bad judgment, says Rita Mae Brown. Now, put all the knowledge and wisdom that you've gained into your everyday life and see what happens. If you're still unconvinced of the beliefs that you can assert yourself, ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen to me if I learn to be assertive? Now, ask yourself, what is the best thing that can happen to me if I learn to be assertive? Now, imagine yourself in the position of assertiveness. You've learned to stand up for yourself, and people are no longer taking advantage of your good nature or willingness to help. You've gained a brand new position of authority at work, only doing your own work. Your spouse has a newfound respect for you, and even your kids are more respectful since you've taught them how to treat you. You're not being mean to anybody, you're just firm about how you intend to be treated from now on. Remember that being assertive is about standing up for yourself and your rights, but without stomping on the other person's feelings and rights. Your attitude, your behavior, beliefs, and values are now in line with who you really are, an assertive, no nonsense, action oriented, take charge kind of person.